Jeremy, this job is like the perfect example, which is why we're here, of why people, at least in Houston, Texas, do not buy wood windows. What
I
do you
agree.
see when you look at this?
I agree. I see where it's failed and it's rotting and warping and all kinds of problems.
I mean, look down here. I'm going to do the finger test, okay? Oh, look at that. That is like spongy wood, very spongy. And of course, what happened here, Jeremy? Because this did not fail from the outside in, typically, right?
Right. So usually between the glass and the frame, a little water gets in there. Just like, see how my knife goes in there?
Yeah.
That's water starts there, and then it just starts working its way in and just eats from the inside out. So this started leaking probably in this corner, and then all that just through the time.
Raphael's going to lift this up so you can see what it looks like from underneath there. So he's got that up, and he's going to tilt it forward. Oh boy. Okay, so look, the weather stripping is actually still on this one down here. That's kind of amazing. It actually has a weather skirt. I mean, that was high tech back in the day, but a little bulb weather skirt on that. So if you notice here, you can get a better view there of where all of that has been rotting. Look at that. This is almost like layers. In fact, the paint, look at that, Jeremy. The paint's coming off. The paint was holding it together. Behind that, we've got, yeah, this looks pretty bad. If I was a doctor, I would say this is a bad cancer on this window and it has to come out. What do you think?
I agree.
Now, if you notice, the inside looks pretty good. So it did a good job of keeping the weather to the outside. Oh, no, it is not very good. I'm sorry. Look at here. I didn't realize that. That's actually got Bondo. I think this has had some work done to it before. You can see where that's, hear that? Hear that?
Yeah.
Listen.
Right.
Of course, these are single paints. You're going to get a lot of sweating, right?
True.
And when that happens, of course, it's going to go somewhere. It's going to puddle up, usually down at the bottom. And, oh, wow, look at this, Jeremy. I didn't really notice this. Come check this out. All of this in here is rotted too. So, Jeremy, what do you think that means? Like when we pull this out, is there a chance that there's some rot damage inside of there as well?
So there is a chance, because that is very soft, so the water has kept going. Now, if the frame of the house was flashed properly, then the water should come out down here.
Come down at the weep holes.
In the weep hole, but sometimes they don't do that. So when we take this one out, we may have to repair the frame of the home.
So in this particular application, unlike, say, where we're taking out an aluminum window, we're not going to destroy the water envelope, right? The seal between this frame and the house from the original installation.
Right.
Okay, good.
We're not interrupting the drainage plane at all.
Right, so the water will still, if their water got behind the wall, it would still come down the wall. It would hit the flashing that's in place, come around that flashing, work its way all the way to the bottom.
Correct.
Now, Jeremy, this window is the Infinity from Marvin. And, you know, people have heard of Marvin. Marvin's been around for like 100 years, and they make the most beautiful windows. In fact, you've probably even heard of Marvin wood windows because maybe you have Marvin wood windows. This product is a composite product. It is pole-treated, we call it, Jeremy, fiberglass. We see a lot of this, don't we, going into homes where there was wood for those exact reasons. But like, tell me, when you see a window like this going in, how confident are you that it's going to look great, it's going to last forever, and you don't have to come back?
Well, with the Marvin Infinity, I'm super happy that we're installing it because it's a great window. I don't have any concerns. It looks a lot like the old traditional wooden windows, so people are really getting what they want.
What I've noticed too when I pulled up, because the front was already done, as you can see, the front looks gorgeous. Well, they still need to paint the trim, but you can see how beautiful the window is. I pulled up and I thought, you know what? It did not lose the character of this neighborhood. Like sometimes you see people, they have a beautiful wood window that rotted, and then they pull it out and they put in something that's not nice. And like, you know, in this zip code, this is a nice zip code of Houston. You'd be diminishing the value on your home if you didn't go back with something nice like this because it's a nice house and the values keep going up and you don't want a problem window. But as I look at this, I'm looking across and I'm thinking, this looks like the window that came out. Like it's got the same sort of grid style and look, not just the same grid pattern, but the grid itself is that OG grid. It's 7/8 inch wide. It's got that nice bevel to it. It's hard to get that out of an inferior quality product unless you just go back to wood. And we know wood is not our friend in Houston. So I really like how that looks. I also like how it's got a lot of glass space. If you notice, Jeremy, this is really pretty narrow. A lot of times when you have a window that goes inside of a pocket like this, you're going to lose some of that glass, aren't you?
Absolutely. That's why we can do a pocket on the Marvin Infinity because there's more glass in the frame than most windows.
What I also notice on this window too is it's got the cardinal glass, and if you look at it, it has a low E366, and it almost like makes the outside softer, doesn't it?
It does.
Like you're a fisherman, right? Do you have a pair of those glasses where you put them on and they're, what do they call them, polarized?
Right.
You can see the fish better and all that takes the glare out. I don't know what they do to this glass, but I'm looking out there and I'm looking at our trailer, and it looks crisp. It looks clean, doesn't it? It's got a real nice look. I've even heard people tell me that what they thought was pretty cool was when they put these windows in, that they used to have a TV in that room, and the TV used to have a glare on it, you know, during when the sun was coming down or something, and now they don't. So I think that's pretty cool.
It is.
This thing I was just trying a minute ago, I want to be careful because this caulking is still fresh and wet, but man, the way this thing operates so nice, so smooth. It's got a really nice weather stripping across the bottom here. The slope sill, 8-degree slope sill to the outside. So there's no weep holes on here.
I love that.
There's nothing that has to be maintained or cleaned out. Bugs can't get in there. The water just slopes away from the edge. It's got a beautiful bulb weather sealing going up and down the side here. Color match to the window itself. So it opens and closes effortlessly. Now explain what you did here on this trim, because I see that you did have some trim. And tell me, why did you have to put this trim in here?
So the old window, the sashes, the frame and everything are thick. They're, we'll say, about 4 inches. And we wanted to get this window all the way to the outside so that we can do our trim that's not going to rot and seal it up properly. So what we did is we added a jamb extension. This is a piece that we added right here. If we were to put, this is where the window starts. If we put that window all the way in here, on the outside we would have needed a jamb extension. And I'd rather just have one caulk bead outside than, you know, more than one. So
well, plus, even though we're using composite materials, putting the window out where the weather is better than pulling the window in and then doing a bunch of trim on the outside, right?
Right.
I mean, even though we do a great job, there's still a chance that someday water got behind that. So we protect the house by putting the window on the front lines of the weather. Make sense?
It does. And I feel like putting the window out leaves room for shutters to operate. Some people have blinds, curtains, so we like to just leave room inside if possible.
You make a good point, because take a look at this. So when the shutter is closed, right, it's pretty flush here.
Right.
But then when I open the shutter, that's going to stick out further.
It does.
So I need to make sure I have clearance here when that's closed so it doesn't happen.
Right.
Plus, Jeremy, if they'd bought some casement windows, we'd be dealing with a crank handle down here,
That's
correct?
right.
So we would want that extra depth. So you wouldn't do these windows in and then casement windows pushed out. I mean, you want consistency across the house.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a better default setting for us to just say, leave them towards the outside.
Right.
Yeah, terrific. So this product that you used here, what is this, Jeremy?
So that
jam
is,
extension?
that is the PVC composite. It comes in white. It looks very close to all the white windows.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need paint. It's a wonderful material. So we use that.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at it now, and I mean, if I didn't know better, I would think it's just a part of the window.
Right.
Because it doesn't look like sheetrock,
Exactly.
right? And it doesn't look like wood.
Yes.
It looks like this composite material that we've got here.
Right.
Boy, it's a good-looking window. This particular package also was upgraded to the laminate glass, and laminate glass is just really nice because it gives you another layer of protection from intrusion. But also, here's what it does too. Do you hear that?
Nope.
You don't. So new double pane windows are going to reduce the sound quite a bit anyway, but when you put either an offset glass package in there like we do with the Anlin window, or you can put an offset glass in this, or you do a laminate glass, you're definitely going to reduce the sound. I think this is great. By the way, if you like this window, this Infinity window, check out buyinfinity.com to locate a window dealer that sells this near you. And there's also a special savings information there where you get a special savings promotion offer for this product if you go to buyinfinity.com. So check that out. Well, Jeremy, let's do one more thing. I want to go outside and I want to look at the materials that we used on the outside, kind of talk about that, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, so Jeremy, this window behind us is installed. All it needs is some paint. And you and I were talking about the trim inside we had to use on the inside, right, the composite. And then on the outside, we're using something a little bit different. And actually, we're using 3 different trims, so I brought them here to demonstrate. Tell us about the trim and what you're using and why.
So all 3 of these can be used on the exterior, but for different reasons, we did it a little different. Number 1, he wants to paint the trim a dark color.
Okay.
This composite PVC is wonderful stuff, but if you paint it a dark color and the sun hits it, it starts shrinking and warping, and there's a lot of issues with it, so we just don't want to do that.
Okay, so when do we use this composite? Because this is almost like a big thick chunk of vinyl, right?
It is. It's that color through and through.
Okay.
If somebody says, I'm going to leave white, I love that flat, smooth look,
Okay.
we'll go with this. Or if they say a light beige or a really light gray or something, we'll do that.
But if it's white, then you don't even have to paint this. Right. So now we're back to zero maintenance, right?
Exactly.
But you're saying if they wanted a light color like a beige, we could put this on, paint it beige, would match what they're after, but it won't shrink. But if you wanted the black window and use this stuff and you painted it black, it'd be a recipe for disaster.
A lot of people have made that mistake. I'll go measure windows and see it, and it's just snaking and warping, and it
just can't handle the heat. Okay. All right. So go ahead.
So we're not using it on the outside of this one because he wanted a darker color.
Okay. But this is what we're using on the inside.
It is.
Okay.
It is because it matches the inside of the window and looks great. Great.
Yeah,
material.
I like how that looks.
The other one we use is the Smart Trim. It's just textured. It's a cedar look.
Right.
And I love it too. They just don't have it as smooth as he wanted. He wanted a very smooth.
Okay, so this is called Smart Side. It's a competitor to Hardy Plank. LP makes this, Louisiana Pacific. If you go into your attic and look up at your sheathing, or even on the walls of a new construction, you'll see Louisiana Pacific. So it's the same company, but this product is actually treated to resist termites, to resist rot. I think you put a 50-year warranty on this stuff. People look at it and sometimes they say, is that press board? Is that MDF?
I don't want that cheap particle board.
I don't want that cheap stuff. This stuff is expensive.
It is nice.
And it is very, very durable, but they don't, at least where we're at in the South, they don't make a smooth, but in other parts of the country, they make a smooth product. We're trying to see if we can get this by the pallet because we would like to have this as an option. Yeah. So what did you do, Jeremy? Because he wanted a smooth option.
So this is light board. It's a concrete board. And this board has a smooth finish, and it has a texture, so you can have either one. And he really loved the smooth. So we don't usually use this, but it is an option that we can use, and it's turned out great.
So why would you not use Hardy Plank? Because this sounds like Hardy Plank. Hardy Plank is fiber cement, just like this is.
So the back of Hardy, at least the stuff here, some people use it for smooth, but it's not real smooth. It looks like a little bit of a honeycomb.
It's kind of porous, isn't it?
It is. And people who use it, and I always look at it and think, well, they put it up backwards,
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
But I think they wanted a smoother look, and it just wasn't as smooth and looked as good as it could have.
Okay.
But
this is almost like perfectly smooth on the back, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't have all of that like the like you said, honeycomb or the little indentations out of the craters, if you will.
Yes.
But that stuff's heavy too.
It is very.
Yeah.
It's hard to cut. You got to have a helper, or else you'll break it.
Yeah, it will snap. That stuff is so hard and brittle.
But once it's installed,
you're good. And stuff like this will slow you down because you're making cuts for every single window, right? I mean, there's a lot of cuts. So you can almost have a guy just on the saw all day making cuts for this. All right. Well, this has been a great project. I'm really excited about how this is turning out. Looking forward to the completed project. This house is going to be appreciated in value. It's going to have windows that last forever and a happy homeowner. And it looks to me like we're going to get some more jobs up and down the street because I've noticed a lot of people that have this same issue. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can go to thewindowexperts.com to reach me, and I'm glad to help you with your projects. If not, I can point you in the right direction. Thanks for watching again, and have a great day.